welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love Island UK Season 12, Episodes 18 and 19.
Listen here, I need you to subscribe, like, share, comment. Depending how the rest of the season go, we may do episodes in pairs. You get what I'm saying? So you don't have to ask, are we still doing UK? You know, whatever we start, we finish. You get what I'm saying? Shout out to Couples Therapy. We still got 2 more episodes to do that.
We're going to get it done.
Yeah, we will get it done eventually. Also, we will be doing the ultimatum too. I know the ultimatum just came out. Give us time. You get what I'm saying? Because we are in the middle of 2 Love Island seasons, of the UK version and the USA version. But trust me, we will all get to it throughout this whole summer. You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Walk us through it, please.
All right. So we start with episode 18. Shay was dumped from the island. Helena, Giorgio, Romel, Emily, and Dejon return to the villa.
Okay.
So the girls all talk. Helena tells Meg that she was proud of Dejon and he didn't sleep in the bed with the girl. Emily felt like she had more of a spark with a Conor than Will. That's why she chose Conor. Helena was surprised that Romel didn't recouple with Poppy. They shared beds at night. They kissed outside challenges. And he said he would couple up with Poppy at one point. Alima says that she's done with Romel. She's not taking him back. And she had to take a step away because she was so upset. And Toni ended up consoling her.
Yeah, I don't understand these temper tantrums for someone you just met. What do you mean you're not taking him back? It's Love Island.
Yeah.
When you are single, you are vulnerable. I think we need to make a rule throughout the season, not only during the fire pit, but during the actual like play of the season. If you want to break up in the middle of all this stuff, you got to go home. Like we need to encourage conflict and resolve. There's a conflict here. And now we need to encourage resolve within the relationship of Love Island. Not know, oh, you know what, you made me mad, so I'm just going to be single and just be by myself for like the next week or so until a bombshell comes in and hope they pick me. No. If you break up at any point of Love Island and you are vulnerable, you go home. Yeah. That's what I think.
Okay. Now the guys talk. Giorgio introduces himself.
Yeah.
Romel thinks he's getting to a strong point with Alima, so that's why he wanted to stay with her. Harrison tells the guys what they saw in the video, and Romel tells them he was joking about saying he wasn't occupied in the villa.
Well,
it's a cop-out.
Stop being an idiot,
yeah.
Okay? Stop saying things you don't mean then. Like, listen here, I give more rope to women on these shows than I do men on any show. As a man, a grown man at that, why are you just saying things just to say things? Your words should mean something. So why are you playing around with your own words and making it mean less and less the more you talk? So that's why I'm like, even though I feel like Alima overreacted, I'm like, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Why are you playing like that?
So Alima and Romel have their first conversation. Before they sit down, she tells him that she's done, but we can be cordial in the villa. He's asking, does she even want to hear what he has to say because she's over talking him? She actually is asking him all these questions, but not giving him time to answer. And at this point, she's too upset to talk. She calls him a coward and walks away.
Well, that's life.
And that's the thing. I can understand Alima's frustration with the fact that she felt like she was in a good place with Romel, and to see that he pretty much threw her to the side during his time at the sleepover, and she saw that he said that he wasn't occupied. However, he chooses her at the end of it. You would think she would be happy that, okay, he explored and he came back to me, but he did make it seem like he was not interested in Alima at all by what he said. It would have been nice for Alima to actually have a conversation with him to see and gauge where he actually stood, so she can form a better decision for herself. No, don't get me wrong, she can leave the man. That's her prerogative. But I felt like the dialogue would have been nice to see.
Well, it goes back to your point. When you come on here as the Queen of England and things of that nature, and you want to have your nose up, and you basically telling us, the viewers and the people in the island, what you will accept and won't accept while you're on a game show of Love Island, where basically we're trying to get you love. It does kind of be like, what's the point of even having a conversation if you're not going to let them talk?
Yeah.
And I understand what he did was wrong, but at the same time, y'all stuck here in the villa until somebody go home. So I really don't understand why resolve wasn't pushed on both sides. In my opinion, even though he was wrong, it kind of showed Alima to be kind of immature in my eyes as well.
Yeah, so Shakira pulls Romel for a chat, and Romel tells her people say they're open, but they're not really acting like it. He felt like he was respectful in the way that he explored.
Okay.
And Shakira said, well, Dejon slept on the daybeds and still got to know the girl. Alima ends up grabbing Shakira from the conversation with Romel before he even really has a chance to explain himself to even Shakira. And I wasn't a fan of Alima grabbing Shakira because I was interested in hearing his perspective. Not that I necessarily would have agreed with it, but I feel like we should be able to hear people out.
Yeah.
You know? And I also wanted Romel to be able to tell her, well, I'm not Dejon. I'm not going to sleep outside if I don't want to. You know? So...
That's facts.
The girls chat. Alima is just wondering how can he cuddle and kiss a girl, then think he can come back to her. She is not feeling his explanations.
Okay.
And I question if she even really heard them. I do feel like there was excuses, and even him talking about things were a joke definitely are not good explanations in any sense of it. But I also feel like, Alima, you're on Love Island and people do have to explore. And that's where I feel like a lot of the time some of the girls on this show get into their heads about being the prize and the princess, which I think that you should feel that way about yourself, but you're also here to get to know another person and see if you have a connection, not make the person chase after you and prove their worthiness to you, you know?
You're right.
So Megan and Tommy chat. He doesn't want to be in a triangle anymore. She can crack on with Conor if she wants to. He'll put his energy elsewhere. Megan tells him he's pushing himself away, but she still wants to get to know him. You've always been my number one. And Tommy says, I really think you are more interested in Conor. Megan says, because we weren't speaking. Tommy tells her, because I felt mugged off. He wants to try to give it another chance, but he also doesn't want to be in a love triangle. So right now he's waffling, but they can both tell that this isn't going to work if she doesn't see where he's coming from. Megan walks off. And I'm kind of getting annoyed with the girls walking off from these conversations. I get that things can be emotional and irritating. I would feel like the person that people I feel like have the most right to walk away from is Ben, because Ben gets ridiculous.
Yeah, he's kind of weird.
Yeah, and it feels like he starts bullying and picking at the girls, and it gets nasty. But for these conversations, I don't see why we can't sit and talk it out. So.
Also, on top of that, both people are wrong in their perspective, right? Megan is wrong because she is actively gaslighting Tommy.
Yeah.
Into thinking like, you're still my number one. Like, I still want to get to know you. No, you don't. Like you was kissing and doing everything but getting to know Tommy. Mind you, Tommy didn't go over there to the other villa to the sleepover and things like that. Tommy was still there.
Yeah.
But you chose the time when Emily was gone to get to know Conor more. So don't try to make it seem like, oh, Tommy, like, you're still my number one. No, he's not. Don't lie, right? Let him keep whatever dignity he have. And speaking of dignity, Tommy, you don't need no one's permission to cut some off. This was his last ditching attempt to basically get her to be like, you know what, I will leave Conor and be with you. If you're going to cut it off. He's asking why, how, when, where, all these things, to where he's like, well, you know, this happened and this happened. If you want to be, no, if you don't want to be with Megan and you don't want to get to know her, state that, and then just be like, just end the conversation. But getting all these explanations is you trying to do your last ditch attempt of trying to be with her, and I'm like, yeah, both of y'all weak for this.
Yeah, so Emily and Conor have their talk.
Yeah.
Conor says that he kissed Megan. Emily was surprised and she thought that she was more into Tommy. Conor tells her that Megan and Tommy ended up falling out. Okay. Conor is still open to talking to Emily, but more so because they're still in a couple, but essentially it's up to her. Emily feels like, you know, when she was gone, his head was with Megan, and that turns her off. She wouldn't have been worried about the kiss if it wasn't the fact that his head completely turned.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. With Meg and Dejon said that he just felt his connection with Meg was stronger.
Listen here, man. One of them gotta go, because here's the thing about it. The nickname for Megan is Meg. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't believe in y'all connection. I don't either. Listen, I think this is gameplay. And truth be told, I don't believe Dejon likes Meg the way that he said he does, and for some reason I think Meg knows that, And that's why she gets upset whenever he goes talk to somebody new, because I think they are using each other to try to basically be the long-lasting relationship from the beginning to make it to the end. I think both of them are playing the game, in my opinion.
Agreed. Megan and Emily end up having a talk. Emily doesn't know if if Conor has been 100% honest with her, and she doesn't want to be with someone who's easily taken. So they end up calling Conor over to have a talk to air everything out.
Oh, no.
Megan ends up walking away. So she doesn't even sit down for the conversation to make sure they're all on the same page.
Everybody's walking away from conversations like throughout this episode. Okay.
Emily thinks it's clear that Conor's head is with Megan and not really that he actually wants to get to continue knowing Emily. So Emily tells him that she's done. Conor apologizes for not being fully open. And that's my thing. If you know that you're leaning more towards someone else, don't just try to CYA, you know what I'm saying? Cover your behind, so that way you can have a lifeline in case something goes wrong, or because you're still in a couple with this person, or you don't want to break bridges. Like, actually say where you stand. And I think that's what's getting me with this cast, is everybody's too scared to actually say and go after what they want.
Facts.
So
I agree.
Megan and Conor go in the Hideaway to talk. Conor tells her Emily ended things and Megan is done with Tommy. She doesn't need someone who's insecure.
Wait a minute. I thought it was cute at first.
I thought that she still wanted to get to know Tommy before Tommy ended it. Now he's insecure. I always thought that.
Really? Facts. But I'm just like, wait a minute. I thought just a couple of episodes ago you was talking about I don't want to break his heart. Now you basically like, I don't want to be with somebody who's insecure. Okay, I hear you.
So they say that they're going to stay in the Hideaway tonight, and they end up kissing.
Wow.
Emily starts crying because they are going to the Hideaway, and she actually expected more from Megan.
Why?
I don't know.
This is not Friendship Island. That's a problem with the USA version this season. Why are you expecting loyalty from the same sex? You're not interested in the same sex. It's not this type of show, as far as I know. You get what I'm saying? The only loyalty you should have is to you and your connections. And now that your connection says that he's not interested and you realize that y'all cut it off with Conor, you need to be focusing your energy on trying to build another connection. You get what I'm saying? Besides looking at Megan like, oh my goodness, how could you do this to me? Stop it.
So it's bedtime. Alima is sleeping alone. Romel sleeps outside. Conor and Megan are making out in the Hideaway.
Of course.
The next day, Romel says that he would have brought Poppy if he knew that things would have been like this. He's talking to, I believe, Harrison, one of the guys.
I ain't gonna hold you. I actually agree. Like if I got sleep outside, oh yeah, and you go act like this the way I can't talk, I should have brought Poppy.
Yeah. Ben isn't feeling things with Yasmin at all.
Of course not, Ben. Who do you feel? Help us with that. And now I'm more mad at Ben because I defended Ben when everybody told me I was stupid for doing so. And I'm just like, you know what? Ben go come around. Ben, come on, man. Come around that mountain, man. Keep going.
So Romel is done with Alima. He explored his connection with Poppy and has no regrets.
Okay.
Yasmin doesn't feel the emotional connection with Ben. Maybe it was just sexual chemistry. Helena sees that Shakira and Harry have progressed, and she still feels like she has unfinished business with Harry.
Helena, I'm about tired of you and your decisions.
I wish Helena would move on. You said it was done. Now you're waffling, and I think it's because she really doesn't have a strong connection. It's not Harry. It's not Harry.
But my thing is, what about Giorgio that you just brought back from the sleepover? Why don't you get to know him and things of that nature? But okay.
Yeah, so Tommy ends up grabbing Emily for a chat.
Yeah.
He's complimenting her accent, asking if she would want to come visit him in London. And he's saying that he's, been looking at her. She's pretty fine. And he knows that he has been moving closed off, but he's going to move different now.
Tommy, when did you start looking at Emily?
Right, when Conor started looking at Megan, like, what do you really want, Tommy?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't believe that he's actually interested in Emily. I think that she's open, and he's going for the easiest thing he can get on his hands on. Not saying Emily's easy, but she's single.
She's available.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tommy, why Emily? Why not Alima? Alima and Romel having problems. But no, it's just easier to basically, like, this is not even your decision. This decision wasn't even made by you. This decision was made for you, right? And that's why we look at you as insecure. That's why we look at you as a mama's boy. That's why we kind of look at you as kind of weak, right? Because now you are basically just accepting what is given to you. And basically, Emily was given to you as an option because you let her man take your girl, which leaves her and both of y'all, the two losers, to be with each other. And now with you over here trying to basically make it seem like, you know what, I always paid attention to the accent. No. You know she is second choice, second option, sloppy seconds and things of that nature. And I'm like, just be honest. It's not even like an honest approach, in my opinion.
Yeah. So they end up getting a text. Toni and Harrison get to go on a date.
Okay.
They pick strawberries, and we learn that Harrison ends up telling Toni that Romel regrets not bringing Poppy back. She talks about how she's been enjoying her pace with Harrison. They cheers to staring out the drama, and they end up kissing. Mind you, Harrison is dropping some tea, and we are going to see how Toni handles that tea.
Yeah. And also, I think Toni thinks they are in a relationship. I know they are a couple, but mind you, they are only a couple because he chose you to save between her and Mel.
It's like he's indebted to you a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a real couple in the sense of y'all had a chance to explore. You know, you saw him and he saw you and things of that nature. It was like, hey, you got two choices between these two women. The other one get to go home. Okay, I choose Toni. Okay, I saved Toni. But I'm thinking she is thinking that it's more than what it is, right? And I don't even know who to blame at this point right now. I think Toni is just happy that, you know what, I'm in a connection, because remember, she was with Ben, you get what I'm saying? And Ben was Ben, you know what I mean? So now it's kind of like, I'm in a real relationship, I'm in a real couple. Yeah, you're in a couple, but you're not in a relationship. It's very different.
And I also would put some on Harrison. I think that he's stringing her along a bit.
Okay.
Number one, because I think he's trying to keep his option open, so he doesn't want to shut anything down with anybody.
Fair.
But I don't think he's feeling Toni. I think that he enjoys talking to women, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And having conversation with her and just being on the show and being in the villa. But I don't see that spark and that connection. I think that, like you said, Toni is just so happy to have someone to have a connection with that I don't even think she's really assessing the fact that he's not really like trying to court her in a way.
He's lying. He's lying to your face. He said, you are the one that I had the best chats with.
And he's lying.
And
that is true.
And then he talks to the guys and say, Helena is really the one that I really want to talk to. That's the best chat.
He's playing.
So it's like, yeah.
So Dejon is trying to get Romel to talk to Alima, have another conversation, but Romel is over it. He would have ghosted her in the real world at this point.
I can't hold you. Me too. But at the same time, Romel, you said like you knew who you was with, and to say what you said was stupid, right? And my thing is, I just need to see from Alima, even though I am a fan of Alima, I'm not really a fan of the whole princess attitude, the whole princess aura of basically you talk to me with your head down and I talk to you with my pinky up and things of that nature. I'm not a fan of that, because I want to see from Alima some conflict resolution, right? Not know when he explains himself, as Blair was telling us earlier in the episode, you walk away. Like I'm like, if that's the case, you're gonna come off as somebody who nobody wants, because not only are people seeing how he's acting, people are seeing how you're acting, especially with the bombshells. So why would I want to be with somebody to where if there is a problem in our relationship, our real relationship, I can't even get a word in because you're gonna walk off? I would have ghosted her in real life too.
Yeah, so Emily and Conor have another talk, and Emily is telling him how the Hideaway felt like rubbing salt in the wound. He understands, why she was upset, but she wouldn't have done that to him out of respect. Conor tells her, if you say you want to step away from the situation, you can't really tell me to stay in bed with you.
Facts.
And Emily tells him he could have slept on the daybed.
No.
I don't have to do anything out of respect for you because I'm not with you.
Yes.
We're not together. We ended things. I'm exploring my full connection with Megan, and if we want to go to the Hideaway, we can. And I get it. It was a quick turnaround.
Yeah, it was.
It was probably whiplash. You know what I'm saying?
My neck hurt.
And I think Emily is fair to be upset, but you can't make Conor do something because you're upset with how things are shaken out.
And guess what? Salt in the wound, it cleans it. So even though it hurts and things of that nature, if all you got is some salt and some dirt and things like that, you got to get that wound clean. And however you would get some salt water, put it on there, it's going guess what, at the end of the day, Emily, I don't owe you anything. You know what I hate, Blair?
What?
I hate when people say, if it was me, I would have. No. We're not going with no hypotheticals here. It wasn't you. It's not you.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what you would have done because you don't know what you would have done because it's not you, right? Guess what? I was respectful of you of actually like going to another room because if it was me, Christopher, I would have invited her to my bed.
Okay.
And then we would have been making out on your back.
Okay.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like he's right. I don't owe you anything.
Yeah.
But I like the way how Conor is carrying himself in the sense of he is basically being stern but respectful.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't owe you anything. You don't owe me anything. You know what I mean?
So Alima ends up pulling Romel to, I guess, really have a conversation this time.
Okay.
He tells her that he's flirty, he's sexual, but at the end of it, he felt what he had with Alima was stronger.
Okay.
Alima felt like he sold her a dream. She rather call it quits now. She thinks he disrespected her. She doesn't see where he has taken accountability in anything. And he knew that she didn't give second chances, and he still did what he did. He asks if she's okay with them staying in the same bed tonight at least, and she tells him no, he should probably sleep in the Hideaway.
He said, I'm not sleeping in the Hideaway.
Yeah. And
I'm sleeping in the bed. Hopefully you good with that.
And I think the thing with this conversation is that Alima, he can know who you are and how you are as a person, but that doesn't change that he has to have his own experience in the show.
Yeah.
And I think that's what some of these people are so kind of wrapped up in themselves a little bit, that you're not acknowledging that everyone is here for themselves.
Yeah.
And if you guys end up finding a connection, a bond, and a spark, that's one thing. If you end up finding your way back to each other, that's one thing as well. But people are not going to not explore out of respect for you. Like, I didn't come here for you necessarily.
Yeah. Everybody have their own experience. You're right.
And I also feel like Alima dominates the conversation in such a way that Romel doesn't have time to take accountability or for the conversation to even go in those directions before she wraps it up. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm not telling her to be with him. I think that he did play her to the left during his conversations with Poppy. And if she's no longer interested, that's fine. But it just is coming across very immature. But hey, they're what? 24, 23? Like, it makes sense.
It's a character flaw.
Yeah.
Like, right now, now we see Alima character flaws. What I would like to see throughout the rest of the season, at least these next couple episodes, I need some redeeming qualities now to offset it. You get what I'm saying? Everybody have character flaws. Right? So what helps the character flaws is, hey, you have redeeming qualities. You get what I'm saying? Hey, you snore, but you really pretty though. You get what I'm saying? So it's like that. Right now, I need more from Alima to offset some of those things because Blair made a perfect point. Even though Romel may have came in as a bombshell and things of that nature, he did not come in only for you. I understand the job of a bombshell is to come in. Remember, Alima, let's not forget how you started this Love Island experience, where literally 30 minutes into the episode, Blue, when you was coupled up with Blue told you to your face, I don't want to be coupled up with you. Yeah. Literally 30 minutes into the episode. So you was basically somebody without an island, right? So to Blair's point, the same way as this is your experience, it's not solely your experience. This is not for the love of Alima.
Right.
This is Love Island.
Yeah. So Harrison and Toni come back from their date, download everybody on everything that happened. Megan and Tommy talk. She knows that she didn't give him the Hideaway heads up, and they end up agreeing to be civil, and they are fine with sharing the bed together. Just do it friendship style.
Yeah.
Ben and Yasmin have a conversation.
Why?
So he tells her he's going to take a step back. He doesn't know where his head is right now because they've been moving pretty fast. Yasmin did hear that from Meg earlier that he wasn't feeling it, and she would have wanted to hear it from him rather than Meg. And Ben apologizes for that. They end up hugging, and that's the end of the convo for now.
Yeah, I think Ben is definitely. It's not even that he has a problem with all the women because I think everybody look at Ben as weird. Yeah. But it's like he's also like, even though I see him talking to the guys, I see the guys are basically just like they are talking to him, but it's not like no bro.
No, they just letting him get his issue off.
It's like, yeah, bro, like, yeah, I hear you. But at the same time, it's like he's by himself. He's literally by himself in the island, as he should be.
Yeah. And Ben ended up pulling Shakira for a chat.
Okay.
Telling her that he cut things off with Yasmin and talking about how she was laying it on thick, doing dirty stuff in bed. And Shakira tells him, well, don't move that way if you don't like someone. You know you didn't like her from the beginning, so why get sexual with her?
Yeah.
And he kind of felt like he needed to test it out to see if it would increase the connection.
Okay, so what?
Yeah. Yasmin and Ben end up coming back together and having another conversation because she feels like he's making it out to be like he's the love of her life. And Ben said, well, you chose me for the recoupling. And Yasmin says, you're lucky it's me. With another girl, it could have ended way worse. He was never really feeling her, but he just gave it a go. Yasmin doesn't think he really did give it a go, but she thanks him for telling him now and tells him don't waste her time. He tells her she wasted Shay's time and no one wanted you anyway.
Whoa.
Yasmin calls him immature and walks away, and he tells her that she's making amazing content. And Ben says she's irrelevant.
I don't even understand what was the point of this, Ben. Like, literally, you just went from hugging the girl to now you calling her irrelevant and now causing a scene for yourself. And now one thing that we can say for sure about Ben is that you're not really that respectful to the ladies.
At all.
So it's like, who on the island right now is gonna give you a shot when they see how you talk and how you act with women? Like, you could get a 1-off with Toni, maybe even a 2-off with Shakira. But now Yasmin, who is supposed to be the fun girl, and now you basically calling her a lady of the night, basically, and things of that nature. How is somebody going to take you seriously and want to be with you? I think, Ben, your days are numbered for real, for real.
Yeah, he ends up yelling across the villa, talking about how that whole group is irrelevant, talking about Shakira, Toni, and Yasmin. And Yasmin says she's fine, but she doesn't like him making her look stupid by talking about her to the other guys. He kept telling her to show her true colors in the argument. And Dejon is trying to tell her, well, Ben ended up showing his true colors at the end of the day.
Pretty much.
And that's true. I mean, Ben is, I don't know if y'all watch Love Island USA, but I feel like he's like a watered down Huda a little bit. I mean,
I would even let's put respect on Huda's name a little bit. I would even give him that. I don't know what Ben is. Ben is just
he's just very reactive.
I don't even know what it is. I'm starting to ask, is he well? Because it's like he see issues that's not issues. You get what I'm saying? And then he's just having like this bipolar, and I'm not calling him bipolar or anything like that, but I'm just talking about how on the opposite ends of the spectrum, 1 minute he's hugging you, then the next minute he's yelling at you in front of the whole villa. Yeah. It's like, now that's whiplash.
Yes.
Like, you get what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, I don't even understand what's happening here. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, Harry and Helena talk. Helena felt being away cleared her head. Yeah. And it's hard for her to see him doing right by Shakira, and he wasn't able to get it together for her.
What?
She wants them to be how they were before, and she doesn't want to just be his friend. Well, he doesn't really know where to leave it, but he says, basically, we're done, essentially. And they agree to be friends, but they both know that with her having feelings for him, it's going to be a little bit awkward to try to remain friends.
What were we before?
Yeah.
We were just what?
Having a good time.
Playing a little toe tag. You get what I'm saying? You walk by, you grab my pinky toe. That gives me the idea that we going to the Hideaway and we going to make out. That's what I'm saying. I think Helena is over romanticizing their whole connection. Their connection was really a one. It's the equivalent of a Love Island version of a one night stand.
Facts.
Y'all went to the Hideaway for one night, came out in y'all pajamas and things of that nature when it was 2:00 in the afternoon and things like that, and that was it. Yeah. There's nothing. Truth be told, there's not really much to Harry and Shakira right now either. So for her to even romanticize that relationship to where Shakira's basically like, I understand we together, but I ain't really like, you got a long way to go, So that's why I'm just like, Helena, I think truth be told, what happened is you don't want to be seen as a lady of the night, but at the end of the day, live your truth. You are that fun girl. So be that fun girl, but don't be that fun girl. And then once he's done having fun, you want to get in your feelings. No, the way you start is how you finish. So it is what it is.
Yeah. So Tommy is telling Emily that she carries herself well. He can see how genuine she is, and she is his type. Emily thinks Tommy treats her well, and at this point, she just wants somebody she can trust and who treats her nice.
Yeah, get these two losers in
Both of y'all settling.
Yeah, basically.
So Toni, Alima, Megan, and Shakira talk, and Alima tells them Romel never apologized to her. I don't think he had the chance.
I don't think so either.
Toni tells her, well, you know, he did say to Harrison that he regrets not bringing Poppy back.
Okay.
Alima thinks he's a liar now. All the speeches at the fire pit, she doesn't believe, and she wants nothing else to do with him.
Okay, thank you, Alima, for the fourth time telling us this.
I think Alima might just need a pack of bags.
Maybe.
I mean, it would be nice if a bombshell or somebody came in. We still have Casa to see if there's someone she can connect with, but I really would like to see Alima change her approach.
Yeah.
You know?
Also, thank you for saying that, because you actually just reminded me of something that I want to ask our UK family. I understand we may have caught the other end of Love Island UK, meaning like we didn't catch it when it was at its peak, because y'all not even watching Love Island UK and things like that. Y'all have it in the background as like noise. What is the UK show? What is the new UK reality show and things of that nature that y'all watch? Is it still Love Island if y'all not watching Love Island?
I think it's Toei.
Toei? I never heard of Toei.
Yeah, that was the show where the girl who, if you remember Joey Essex.
Yeah.
And remember the girl he was with before he ended up getting it with Grace? I think she was on that show Toei. And, or like Everywhere is Essex, something like that. But yeah, I think that's the show that they're all.
You gave me two names. I don't know.
Y'all tell us. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm about to say you live.
But that's what I've heard of Toei.
What is the show now of? Because if this show is on its downside, are y'all still watching Love Island UK? Is this still like, you know, the summer event for reality TV in the UK? If not, let us know what is the show in the UK.
Yeah. So it's bedtime. Nothing too eventful happens at bedtime.
No.
The next day, Yasmin and Toni feel like Ben need to be humbled.
Okay.
Dejon, Ben, and Romel chat. Dejon thinks that it shouldn't have gotten personal with the insults, and he tells Ben that. I'm glad somebody told Ben to his face, but Ben isn't hearing it.
No.
Tommy wants to continue talking to Emily today.
Thank you, Tommy, for letting us know that.
That's his only option.
Yeah.
Harrison and Helena have a chat. He thinks about pulling her, he tells her, but he doesn't really want to get involved in triangles. But Helena tells him, look, you ain't got to worry about Giorgio. He's not my type. She's more into Harrison anyway.
Oh, my goodness. Basically, I brought Giorgio back for y'all.
Exactly.
Toni, I actually brought Giorgio back for you while I'm going to take Harrison. Okay.
So Toni is talking to Emily and Shakira, and she sees, you know, Helena just saw me come back with him from a date yesterday. Like, why is she over here pulling him? You need to go ahead and get to know the man that you brought back from the sleepover.
That's fair.
Shakira thinks that she's what he'd go for on the outside, and he backtracked on that conversation when he said that he had the best chat with Helena. So she's trying to just help Toni see kind of the reality of the situation.
Yeah, Toni was like, hey, you're not giving me good vibes right now.
Exactly.
Shakira's like, I'm just trying to make sure you're not blindsided. But let's go back to what Blair said a couple minutes ago. Listen here, I understand with your experience, Toni, that you just went on a date and you feel good about it. But his experience that he have the right to have is, I went on a date and I want to pull Helena. You got to give him the space to do that.
Yeah.
While you could be pulling somebody else, you know?
And that's the thing. I think Toni got excited and comfortable with Harrison because they did have some cute moments. Like, I'm not going to lie. And I do think Harrison hasn't been completely transparent with her about his feelings. But you can't be too comfortable, and I think that she definitely should be trying to get to know Giorgio. I can understand if she doesn't want to really talk to any of the current guys because they kind of have their own situations going on. Don't nobody really want to talk to Ben anyway. So, you know.
True. That's true.
Yeah, so it doesn't hurt to continue to have conversations.
Facts.
Harrison and Helena make a plan to go to the Hideaway.
Oh, okay. It's a date.
Yeah. Yasmin ends up pulling Giorgio. And that's what I'm saying. Yasmin's not going to be sitting alone for long. The girl is going to get in there and talk to folks.
She's like, okay, Giorgio, your name? Okay, come on.
And she tells him, I'm done with Ben.
Facts.
They both want someone that they're all in for. They're both picky daters, but they ended up catching a vibe, and they think that their chats can continue to go well.
Okay.
Harrison says that Harrison tells Toni that Helena ended things with Giorgio, or he has ended things with Giorgio.
Okay.
He's still open to get to know Helena, but he likes Toni as well.
Mm-hmm.
Toni tells him, well, Shakira's been in my head saying that she shouldn't be all eyes in for Harrison because he's not all eyes on her.
Mm-hmm.
And now Harrison feels like he needs to check Shakira. And according to me, I was like, Toni, I feel like she crossed girl code a little bit because Shakira was trying to help you keep your head on a swivel. But you want to tell your man for him to approach her? That's a little odd.
And guess what? I ain't gonna tell you nothing else.
Exactly.
I'm gonna let your head get cracked.
Exactly.
You know?
So Harrison and Shakira talk, and Shakira says that she just sees the connection with Helena being stronger than his connection with Toni. He tells her he likes them both, and Shakira says, well, Toni only has eyes for you, and I just need you to be open and transparent in your conversations with her. Toni would rather have Shakira say positive things to her instead of negative things. Okay. So you want her to lie.
Yeah, lie to me.
You want your friend to lie to you.
I love the way you lie.
Yeah. Shakira ends up going back to Toni and Yasmin and saying, look, he's not doing anything wrong. He's just not telling you how he truly feels. But Toni would have liked a heads up, you know, if Helena was going to pull Harrison for a chat. And Shakira says, but you got to realize Helena doesn't have any loyalty to you. Y'all aren't close.
She sound like me. I'm about to say,
I feel like Shakira the realest one in the villa.
The whole time Shakira's like, you know, like that's our ops over there. Like we have our clique over here, and you want her to pull you for a chat to let her know that she's going to talk to your connection. Why? We were just arguing with them a couple nights ago.
Yeah,
she don't owe us anything. Facts.
Helena tells Megan and Conor that she's going to the Hideaway with Harrison tonight.
Okay, so where I'm asleep then? like you get what I'm saying? Okay, I understand.
Now it's nighttime. Harrison tells Dejon, Harry, and Conor he's going to the Hideaway with Helena. I don't know why they just don't go. I don't know why they have to tell everybody their plans, because I feel like it just adds to the mess. It's already messy, y'all going. Yeah.
I think there needs to be. We need to not have the Hideaway always unlocked. I wish we need here's how you make a great show.
Tell us.
To someone who don't produce a show, never produce a show outside of this show and things of that nature, right?
Yes.
There have to be stakes in the show, right? Let me tell you one of the problems with Love Island USA. I'm gonna tell y'all a secret, UK. One of the problems of this season of Love Island USA is that they got rid of the personalities. They got rid of the Jeremiah. You get what I'm saying? And they made the stake of being basically winning the money more than love. Right? So, like, for example, the Hideaway in Love Island USA is not always open. If it is open, you get what I'm saying? But they open it up 24/7 for UK. You get what I'm saying?
And it used to be closed.
And that's what I'm saying.
Changed it.
So you getting rid of the stakes. It's no longer a reward. Now it's an extra bed. That's basically what it is. We can basically leave our couple in the middle of the night whenever we want to, whenever we don't feel like sleeping outside and getting bit up by the mosquitoes, and go in the Hideaway. We need to make the Hideaway something that couples look forward to achieve. Right? But you have to be a couple, which will help the show because we need couples, right?
We need love.
Exactly. So we need the Hideaway as a reward, as something, not just an extra bed for us just to, get it on in. So that's what I'm saying. We need to add more stakes into the show.
So Harrison ends up grabbing, before that, Helena ends things with Giorgio.
Yeah.
Harrison grabs Helena. They go to the Hideaway, and Toni hits the Mariah Carey wall slide.
She did.
Helena and Harrison are talking, and she tells him she called it off with Giorgio. He tells her there's not much of a spark with Toni. It's like an old married couple. So Shakira was right.
Yeah.
Shakira had you pegged, and you was lying to that girl.
And you're not being transparent.
Harry ends up going over to the ladies after he finishes his conversation with Helena, and Toni is ready to send Helena back to the other villa, and she calls her a sneak bee.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Helena and Harrison, they're still in there. Helena and Harrison kiss. They know that Toni's going to be mad, but he's happy it worked out the way that it did. When they leave, they end up walking right past Toni when they leave the Hideaway.
That's funny.
Harrison tells the guys that he's feeling a Helena more, and he's been feeling this way for a minute now.
Uh-oh.
Megan, and Emily tell Helena that Shakira called her a bee while she was in the Hideaway. I mean, Toni called her a B. So Harrison ended up grabbing Toni, and she tells him that they're both weird for doing that.
Yeah, you're weird for doing that.
He tells her they kissed, and Toni tells him he's weird and sneaky. They literally just went on a date yesterday. Helena was sitting in her face like everything was sweet, prepping her for the date, cheering for her, and now she likes Harrison. Harrison gets it was bad timing, but he asked, so where do we stand?
What?
Well, Harrison, I think you should know.
Yeah, exactly.
You the one who's not feeling her.
And
I wish you would tell her where she stands.
And you told her, you basically said that we are married, we are old married couple. So I think you know where you want to stand at least.
Yeah. So she has to be the one to tell him we're done. And she yells across that Helena is weird. Helena tells her to F off. We live in the same house. He took me to the Hideaway. What you want me to do about it?
I like that. Listen here, Helena, I'm not even a fan of that group over there. But I like that. Hey, I hear you talking about me. Hey, F off. And do something. Because Toni, I'm about done. I'm not talking for Chris. I'm talking for Helena. Toni, I'm about done. Whenever you about done with something, Toni, you over here march as if you're the big American and things of that nature. Stomping around. You over here yelling at Ben. You over here yelling at Harrison and things like that. As if this is the show for like the love of Toni. No, Toni, he did not choose you. You lost 2 times now. And at the end of the day, Toni, I will say I like your personality, but when it comes down to ending something and things like that, we need some better conflict and resolve, right? At the end of the day, I don't know if Toni's person is in the villa. Actually, I can say confidently they are not in the villa.
Nah, it's not
right?
there.
And I think Toni, even though she has some valid points, I think she fell into the trap of, oh, this was a genuine connection more than a last-minute connection because somebody needed to be saved from elimination. So it's like, yeah, I hope that actually, Toni, the next connection you have, if you have enough time to get one, it will be a genuine one to where a bombshell could come in and he would actually be interested in you besides having to pick between 2 people. You get what I'm saying?
So Toni and Helena end up having a convo, and Toni asks, if the same thing was done to you, why would you do it to me? You cheered me on for my date. Why go to the Hideaway today to kiss him? You think you're going to have a relationship with a 22-year-old that lives in America? Well, Helena hasn't really thought it through. And Toni says, you're going to ruin my good thing because you don't have anything going on. And Helena says, we're just exploring. There was no intent behind it. She apologizes for upsetting Toni, but she is going to explore the way that she wants to explore. And like Toni thanks her for ruining a good thing. It really wasn't a good thing.
It was just a thing.
It was just a thing.
Yeah. Listen, I like that what Helena said. Like, basically, what you thought was going to happen. You don't live out here. They brought you here for a show. You think you're going to have a real relationship with somebody when you're over there in the States? Stop it. Relax. And guess what? At the end of the day, it is what it is.
Yeah. So Shakira and Harrison have a convo, and she confronts him for not being transparent and not apologizing. Harrison says, Toni didn't tell me how she felt about me. We really didn't talk like that. How was I supposed to know how deep she was in?
Harrison,
I'm like, that is so childish. Weak. That is so weak. But, he's 22.
And I'm mad because, you know why? They was getting into the depths of it, and then that's when the phone went off.
Yeah, then they get the text message. But I was like, Shakira was getting up in that behind.
She was.
And I was happy for
I ain't gonna lie.
So the public voted for favorite boy and favorite girl. Those with the fewest votes were vulnerable for getting dumped from the island. So the boys with the fewest votes were Ben, Romel, and Harry.
Harry surprised me a little bit.
The girls, Toni, Shakira, and Megan.
Okay.
So only 1 girl and 1 boy will be dumped from the island.
Yeah.
The public also voted for who would leave, and they voted for Romel and Megan to leave.
Ooh.
I wish we got to do this on USA. Yeah. I need to vote for who needs to leave.
Yeah. They are taking our voting rights away. We are back in basically the 1800s, so basically whatever voting was allowed. How did you feel about Megan? Megan didn't even get a chance to really let this relationship with Conor blossom. Now this leaves Conor doing what now?
Oh man, I feel like the public, like y'all
messy a
little bit, and I'm just like, y'all really love Tommy like that? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Is y'all really go up for Tommy in order to get Megan up out of here? I understand that she probably didn't handle him with care, but I just didn't see Megan leaving.
Well,
I didn't see it.
Look at the fewest votes and things like that. The fewest votes here was Toni, Shakira, and Megan. Yeah. Right? I think all of these are different variants of Mean Girl. And I think at the end of the day, I don't think the UK, let me know, UK family, I don't think y'all like Mean Girls, right?
Well, they like Meg.
And that's why I'm like, why didn't y'all get the head Mean Girl? Maybe y'all wanted, maybe it was just maybe Megan did too much gaslighting with Tommy. You get what I'm saying? Because she was gaslighting Tommy. I ain't gonna hold you. But at the same time, Tommy need to man up. He need to buck up. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I think Megan was a big surprise. Do you think now, this is gonna be interesting, what's gonna happen with Tommy? Do you think he's going to like still be with Emily, or is Emily gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna go back to Conor?
I think Emily might try to see what's up with Conor.
Oh yeah,
because
me too.
the interest isn't really there with Tommy.
Yeah,
and they might be able to reignite some type of spark.
Yeah, It is what it is.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's all I got.
We need you to subscribe, like, share, comment. Now, this video will be out Saturday, as in today, right now. Will we release a video Sunday for UK? I'm not sure. We will see how the episode goes. If there's not a lot to talk about, we will wait till Monday to do it in pairs and things like that. But just to let y'all know, we will continue this season. We will finish whatever we start. I don't think we ever stop in the middle of a season, no matter how bad a show was, because I'm one of those people to where I gotta see it through.
Sister Wives, but I'm happy.
We did not stop Sister Wives. We said that if it's not entertaining, we will not record and things like that. I never stopped Sister Wives. I never did. Tell me when did I stop?
You said we would watch the 3-part reunion and record.
I said, did you watch the 3-part? I watched it.
Oh, okay.
Did you watch it?
No.
So it seemed like somebody didn't do their homework. I said from the jump, I said, if it's not entertaining, we will do only the interesting parts throughout the season of Sister Wives. If it's not entertaining, then we will not record. I watched my 3 parts. Did you watch your 3 parts?
Okay.
No. Okay. Y'all need to get on Blair, okay? Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. We see y'all.
Bye.